My May 29 inaugural speech excluded fuel subsidy, but I had to stop it on day one. President Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu on Friday admitted that his May 29 swearing-in speech had no fuel subsidy addressed, but he had to mention it because fuel subsidy was a scam and disincentive to growth. Tinubu made the assertion during a meeting with members of the Nigerian community in France, according to a statement by his special advisor on special duties, communication and strategy, Dele Alake, later that day. According to the statement addressing Nigerians in France, Tinubu explained that the special advisor on monetary policy, Wale Edun and Alake, had excluded fuel subsidy removal from his inaugural speech, but he felt it was expedient to stop the subsidy on the first day. This marked the first time the president would publicly comment on his May 29 inaugural speech, in which he declared that fuel subsidy is gone. We have transport challenges, electricity challenges, infrastructural challenges, and others. I let out the giant elephant of fuel subsidy without bringing down the house, he said, adding, our diversity is our asset if we know how to use it. We must promote unity and stability for all. Whether you voted for me during the elections or not, I am your president and I will work on your behalf to ensure a turning point of prosperity. The president told the gathering of professionals, including David Alaba, a footballer. The statement added that Tinubu said the special advisor on monetary policy, Wale Edun, and special advisor on special duties, communication and strategy had excluded fuel subsidy removal in his inaugural speech. It was the next day I called the GMD of NNPL, Tinubu said. The comment on fuel subsidy had sparked a near instant hike in prices and hoarding, leading to calls for protest by the Nigeria Labour Congress. This is despite former President Muhammadu Buhari's early moves to end the payment of fuel subsidy by June. That is actually interesting because I now remember that the fuel subsidy was a recent thing that the president did, and it was very perfect. I remember mentioning about it because, by May he was going to leave. So by the time, because we know, it's the fuel subsidies are a way. Obviously, economically, it has a definition and it's helpful for the industries. But it's also a way for, politicians to divert funds. So if they set a budget and say, okay, fine, for fuel subsidy, this is where most of our money is going to go to, it leaves and allows for time and allows for the process of diverting all these funds. So Tinubu technically is not doing us a favor because from the last regime's plan, the subsidy payments were going to end in June. So a majority of the payments must have been taken out. So by June, and then he got inaugurated in May. So I don't see why everyone is like, oh wow, what has he done? Because at the end of the day, the fuel hikes and the prices sounds harsh, but it's basically going to be temporary. But you can definitely see how, with the black market and then getting, it was up to what? From 220 naira a litre to 300 to 500 to 700 and as high as 1,000 naira per litre in some places. That is crazy. But when has the country ever made decisions that's going to be in favor of the people? Or even if it was an economic decision, if it's a subsidy, it's been removed. So you're basically saying that because the subsidy had been in place, fuel was so cheap, now it's been removed. So when will it get back to normal? What is Tinubu's plan to then bring the prices down? And for how long will Nigerians pay heavily? And it's such a shame because rather than talking about fuel subsidy and all that, it's why don't we even tackle the electricity issue? Because that's where it is in the first place. People would not need, you go get petrol or your fuel for your cars. And that's basically where it should be. But you have people getting fuel for their cars and you come with tanks, gallons, and you fill it in because you're going home to fill in your generator. So it's we're trying to solve the symptom of the actual problem, where it's like we actually don't have good 24-hour electricity, even in Lagos. And Lagos is seen to be, the economic hub of Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. But you only have the elite and those who can afford it. And those who can afford it are literally paying through their nose to afford it. But it's like, the problem is that we don't even enjoy electricity, where we say, our revenue is this, our economy is worth this, economy is worth that. And we say we have the biggest economy, or one of the big economies in Africa. But countries that don't have big economies can still enjoy the basics of just having electricity. So it's like we're kind of arguing different things. And Tinubu has only done a favor because he's just started. The whole loans thing, I just think it's all performative. And it's perfect because, again, it's the same party that left that's basically taken over. So really, the loss is just always going to be for the Nigerian citizens, regardless. But yes, Tinubu's saying that, my day one, this is what I was meant to do. It's just a scam. Like, it's a scam, but it's like your political party benefited from it, because your political party basically was the ruling party for the last administration. So it really doesn't make sense. And stopping it on day one, what does it do when most of the budget and the money that was meant to go for subsidies, I mean, if you say 97% of the budget for subsidy is gone, then you save the 3%, but then what does that do for us? Like, most of the money is gone regardless. So him stopping it doesn't necessarily mean he's saving a lot, because you would think that he's saving a lot. But if the plan was that the subsidy was going to end in June and he was inaugurated on May 29, come on now. Like, he's not necessarily saving us or trying to, be that person for it. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, put what you think in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.